Hello, everybody. Welcome to season 1, episode 3 of the For the Sure podcast. As you might have noticed, we did not release an episode last week. That's on me. We just couldn't get the schedules to work. I went on vacation on Sunday through Thursday this week, so it just didn't end up happening. So apologize about that. So we got extra juicy episode for you guys today.
Yeah, lots of stuff to talk about. It was quite the slate of games this really for talking about the week that you were gone, and then also this week there was a lot of very interesting things that popped up. Some words from coaches that were questionable, some actions from players that were questionable, and then we got some great games. You had a laughable comeback. It was quite the week of Premier League for sure.
This was a week for the books for sure. But first, you know what time it is, Jacob. I'm going to take my headphones off. This is how it's going to work. I'm going to take my headphones off and I'm going to give you the floor without me saying anything. I won't listen. It's between you and who you need to talk to. And then we'll proceed and I will do the same thing because we both deserve to give this man an apology. So,
Okay.
yours.
All right, I'm ready. I want to give a wholehearted apology to Erling Haaland. We were wrong, sir. We were wrong. Um, we said that you were a tap-in artist. We said you only score cheap goals. We said that you make some questionable decisions when you're on the field, when you have possession of the ball. But I think it's time that we sit here and we just say that we were wrong, man. You're proving your point wholeheartedly, and yeah, no one's catching you for Golden Boot. You might score 70 goals this year. It's insane. It's unquestionable. But yes, this is my public apology to you, sir. So I am sorry. And the floor is now over to Cody.
I'm trying to I don't know when to put my headphones back on. Trying to do it with one hand while covering up my camera didn't work. But all right. Mr. Erling Haaland, I apologize. I wish I could say that I wasn't familiar with your game, but I 100% was, and I thought you were a fraud. 7 goals in 3 Premier League matches is absolute insanity. You're coming off back-to-back hat tricks. Like what? That's insane. You are for sure going to win the Golden Boot. And I apologize for shit talking. I truthfully do. You've shut me up, proved me wrong, and I will eat my words happily. So sorry from the both of us here at For the Shirt. So
It's
all right.
it's actually funny that you didn't listen to anything that I said there and then almost echoed the exact same thing that I said there. He is winning the Golden Boot. I said he might score 70 goals
100%.
this year, to be honest with you. I mean, it is
100%.
he's on an unreal run. City is looking just as dangerous. It's going to be you're really just hoping for mind lapses, literally. That's the only thing that you can hope for
Or I
with
don't
their
even know if an
team the way
injury will help. They're without arguably their best player right now in Phil Foden, and has been. They don't look there, and I know this is an insane thing to say. They look like they could go unbeaten the whole season.
yeah. Yeah, I
I
think like
wouldn't
the
be
last
surprised.
team to do that was I think like Arsenal did it a while back, and
Yeah,
that was like
back in
the
the early
last
2000s.
invincible. But like it's looking very grim for anyone to really have the chance. But I think that my boys have a solid run at it.
Looking good.
I
They're not
thought
looking
Arsenal
good.
was looking clean to it, and that might bring into us into like the first game that we were going to talk about. At least for this slate of games for the week was just Arsenal's performance, but that game, it's reeks of same old story for Arsenal. They continue to be the class of the Premier League every single year, and then they have these slip ups throughout the road. And I'm not saying that my team does not do that because my team is notorious for that, but It is just, one of those. I don't know how much more they're going to be able to do. Any of these teams are going to be able to do against City. It's unstoppable. It's
Inevitable.
unstoppable.
We need
Mhm.
City to win one more time so Pep can fuck off into retirement and we never have to see him again. KDB's gone after this year, more than likely. Pep's hopefully gone after this year. I don't know if it'll change anything at the end of the day, but I think that's a start to end this dynasty. Like, I have a genuine question for all Man City fans out there because I don't know a single one in person that I could ask. I've heard of people who are like, "Oh, well, so and so's boyfriend's girlfriend's dog is a Man City fan," and I'm like, "Okay, what the fuck does that do for me? It does absolutely nothing for me." But all the City fans out there, real question: is it boring winning? Like, is it boring to watch them play nowadays? Like, it's just, is anything exciting for you guys anymore? Like, I don't even know.
I feel like you would only get frustrated because when your team
Only
doesn't
frustrated.
perform like how they do, the team has to just be frustrating to watch when they don't score five a game because they have the talent, the system, and the ability to every single time. So I feel like the joy is not there, which is kind of all along what people have been saying about City fans. They have no aura and they have no joy, and that's because this is just the standard when you stack the cards the
Right.
way that you do.
Right.
There's a standard that they have to meet. So I don't know. I won't sit here and shit talk City fans the entire time because at the end of the day they're the ones laughing at us. They're the ones
No,
winning repeatedly. So
I, it's
I'm not
like I
even going
have
to
to
sit there and
respect you.
talk crap.
Yeah.
It's
No,
just I
it's
do think it has to be boring for them.
it's gotta be boring, man. Like, I don't know. Like, there's not, your excitement is who's gonna come in second or third place. You lose 2, 3 games all season. I mean, any good Premier League team nowadays, if you lose more than 3 games in a season, you're basically not winning the title, which is fucking insane. Um, but it's just like, I I can't imagine. It's probably because Spurs are Spurs, and I've never experienced anything like that. But like, I'm thinking back, like watching the Crew, right? And the Crew are, if for those who don't know, an extremely good soccer team in North America, probably the best team in North America, consisting of Canada, United States, and
We are
Mexico.
biased, but it
I
is
mean, it's
they're
we're not
remarkable.
though. Like, literally, if you look at the Concacaf uh, club rankings, we are number one, and we just won the MLS Cup last year. But what I'm saying, sorry, we got other actual Premier League stuff to talk about. But what I'm saying is like, I don't know the last time I've seen the Crew lose. Truthfully, it's been at least 2 months. I'm pretty sure. We've lost. I think we've lost 6 games at home since we built our new stadium in 2020, and it's not that, I don't know, because of like, it's not boring to watch them, but also like, if we're not out there looking like we do, I kind of tune the game out. You know, like I
Yeah, the
expect to
the
turn on the game.
the Crew's last loss was July 20th to Atlanta
Yeah.
United. Since then they
Okay.
beat
So
Aston
it's been a
Villa
been a
in a
month.
friendly. And then the only other close game that we had was that penalty shootout against New York City. But I mean, it
Yeah,
is the Crew have been dominant, and it's yeah, you're right. It's still fun to watch the game. So
it is
maybe
fun.
we're being too harsh on them. But I mean, you look back at that City and West Ham game. West Ham has been many people's like dark horse. Oh, this team could do some damage because of the moves that they made in the offseason. City had 70% possession. It was 68. They had 23 shots that game. It is it, for a team that's supposed to be able to hang in with them. It was a outclass, easily an
100%.
outclass.
And West Ham are, there's, I don't want to say they're starting a rebuild, but they're probably in their second year really of like a good rebuild. And they had some moments. I mean, John McGinn had not McGinn, Jared Bowen had a really nice shot that challenged Ederson. Um, uh, Kudus kind of looked like crap. I think that there's just no keeping up with City. It's if you're seeing that on your schedule and already mark it as an L because you know it's not going to go well. Hopefully, Spurs this year can keep up their Achilles heel for City for whatever reason. I don't know why City hate playing in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They got their first win last year, so that's kind of sick. But
Yeah.
what is
It,
what does that matter? What else happened this weekend? So we got we can go. Let's talk about Arsenal and Brighton. So it's kind of a yellow card fest. 8 yellow cards if you count both of Declan Rice's. If not, you want yellow and then a red to be 7. But that let's talk about this. So obviously, it was a draw, 1-1, right? I actually didn't put that on there, but it was. I'm pretty sure it was a draw. They know that they drew.
it was 1-1
Was it
draw.
1-1 or 2-2? Okay.
It was 1-1, yeah.
Declan Rice. Everybody, all the Arsenal fans are saying that they got fucked over by the ref. And as I'm curious on your opinions on it from somebody whose team frequently last year got fucked over by refs. I'm counting what,
Uh-huh.
4 times you guys lost a game because
Yeah,
of
I
a
would
bad
definitely
call.
say that I am expert because of that. My opinion on that was that the Premier League made it very clear what the rules are with time wasting and shithousery. And whether it was a small touch or not, that was some shithousery from Rice. So, I mean, he, as a player of his caliber and quality, on top of that, what was he their captain? Was he their captain?
No, Odegaard's the captain.
Okay, but I mean, still, from a player that is a leader on the field, doing something like that is just a stupid decision when you're on a yellow. I mean, there's no way around that. Um, I think that it kind of sucks that he got legitimately Spartan kicked while he was doing it. That's an unfortunate circumstance
Did you know
that
that? Okay.
happened
When I
along with
saw
it.
it at first, like okay, so I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, like he did kick the ball. He was trying to delay play and he was slow getting out of the way. But when I first saw the clip, because I actually didn't watch that part live, when I first saw the clip of it, I was like, did Declan Rice just get a yellow card for getting kicked right now? Like what the fuck is going on? And it took the second rewatch for me to see that he kicked the ball. And my problem is this, and I not usually in agreement with Arsenal fans as a Spurs fan. But there was a player earlier in that game where João Pedro dribbled the ball out of bounds, and then when they blew the whistle, he absolutely fucking launched that ball to the goalie. And maybe that's why they didn't call it. But either way, that's you when they blow the whistle, you sit there, you stop what you're doing, let the other team have the ball. And like you said, that's what they're trying to kind of crack down on. But I see where they're coming from to an extent as to, you know, why can João Pedro do that, but Declan Rice can't have a little touch on the ball? I just think they both should have been yellow cards. So I think that it was called correctly in the Declan Rice case and just simply
Yeah,
missed. I just think that there has to be some sort of consistency in the reffing because I don't understand how you can call one but not the other.
yeah. I just think the difference between those is exactly what we said. Like Rice was on a yellow already. I'm pretty sure, if I'm remembering correctly, his yellow that he got before was for a hard tackle. So I mean, he was
Mm-hmm.
already warned about it, and he shouldn't be messing around with stuff like that. I mean, he should, if they want to try to bleed the clock a little bit, run some time off. You have someone else walk up and do that shit with the ball. You don't just let it go, dude. Like that's kind of where it comes down to. It sucks that it happened. It sucks that it happened to be him, that it was a second yellow. but he's got to know better. It literally just comes down to him knowing the situation that he's in, the fact he's already been warned, and then to do that, it's just, it took away from what ended up what would have probably been a comfortable win for them, because I mean, what
I
he
mean,
got sent off. What time did he get sent off? That
in
was
the
the
49th.
right after halftime, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And then so he gets sent off in the 49th, and then João Pedro scores 9 minutes later. So I mean,
Uh-huh.
like, and the goal that was scored was literally off of a deflection, whose
Yeah.
man probably would have been Declan Rice right there. So I mean,
Yeah.
his decision to make that little shithousery move that he did, like, that caused the goal at the end of the day, and it cost his team. I mean, that's what it comes down to. They can be mad with the refs as much as they want about it getting called the way that it did, but Declan Rice was the one that lost them the game. It had nothing to do with anything else. I mean, that was the reason why it happened.
I completely agree. I think they had, I mean, they went into a low block after that because, you have your man down. You kind of have to. And I mean, Brighton's no pushover. I mean, they fell off at the second half of last year, and that's kind of their MO is they start the season hot and then fall off. But they have a decent squad. They're not to be fucked with. And I think Mikel Arteta kind of understood that and decided that he was going to, change up how he was going to play a little bit. But they had a couple of really good counters. Like, um, there could have been easily at least 3 to 4 more goals in that game in general. I know David Raya had a great save. And then not only did he have a great save, but then turned around, got there, he deflected the ball back into play. And then I think it was João Pedro again, kicked the ball just directly at his face. Um, so he didn't really have to do much of saving there, but it was could have been a goal. I think Saka had a pretty nice counterattack down on the other end that could have ended in another goal. I mean, any team could have taken that. I kind of had a feeling that there was going to be another goal in that game, and didn't end up coming to fruition. But anytime Arsenal drop points, Cody's happy. So let's go.
Yeah, it was a much needed drop of points right there for both of our teams. The table's setting up pretty nicely right now. Just the way that
For you,
everything's looking, you
maybe
still
it
have.
is. Have some fucking
I mean,
courtesy. My mans are down at 10th right now.
but I mean, Brighton has been honestly a surprise so far. I mean, they hired a coach that was young, I believe off of a promotion too. I mean, like, they're taking
They hired a
chances.
coach that's younger than 3 of their current players.
Yes, I mean, I
That's
just
insane.
they rolled the dice, and this guy seems legit, and the results are showing it now. And I think, I mean, it, Arsenal might be upset at themselves for dropping the points, but I think there's going to be plenty of teams this year that drop points to Brighton. It's going to be like that.
100%.
They are
Oh, yeah.
The way that they're
Absolutely.
playing has been a ridiculous pace. And I mean, you look at who they have coming up. They have Ipswich, they have Wolves, they have Nottingham Forest before they end up. I think they go to Stamford Bridge. Yeah, they go to Stamford Bridge in 3 match weeks. So I mean, Brighton is looking like they could end up holding pretty firm at the top of the table for a while here, at least, if they
I
keep
mean,
playing the way that they have.
truthfully, last year, Stupinian was hurt for 2 different stints. Um, Solly Marsh got hurt. Who's that other one? He was on Colin's fantasy team, and he just absolutely dicked us for no reason. I don't know, but they had a good amount. More of the story is they had plenty of injuries last season, and they were, like I
I'm
said, they were
trying to
good. They
think.
fell off the second half. He was a midfielder.
It
I
wasn't a
don't think it
Dinger,
was
right? A
Pascal
Dinger's a
Gross.
winger.
No, it
Oh
wasn't.
yeah, Pascal Grobe. Yeah,
Was it
yeah.
him?
He was.
Because he's not on the
Yeah,
team
he
anymore,
was.
right?
Yeah, he left. They sold him this summer, I'm pretty sure, or he
I
left
thought
on a
so.
free. I don't know.
But yeah,
Do
all
a
those
quick little
dudes
search.
got hurt. So, but yeah, other than that, what else happened in that game? Kai Havertz, I'm afraid to say, is the real deal. I believe he has 4 goals maybe in his first 3 games, which is rather impressive, unfortunately. Um, but I gotta respect it. It's 2 goals. Sorry, 2 goals, 1 assist. That's what I'm thinking of. Overall player rating of 7.29 for this season. I'm kicking myself
Yes, he's
because
now on Borussia Dortmund. His Pascal Gross is now on
I feel like that
Borussia
makes
Dortmund.
sense. I could see that.
Yeah,
The
I couldn't
German name,
remember where
German
he
team,
went.
it makes sense to me. Yeah, Kai Havertz, real deal. Hopefully not, but looking like it's so.
I started him in fantasy because I just had a feeling that he was
I
going to keep
dropped
scoring. I
him.
mean,
I
I know.
dropped him the
You
day
dropped a lot
before
of
the
people
season
to make.
started.
You've dropped a
Oh
lot of
no!
people this last week to make way for the
Oh,
Titan. So
I dropped half of my team to make money and move enough money around for Erling Haaland. I'm starting next fantasy Premier League week off negative 8 points because I'm a free transfer. I had to move 3 different people around. I got rid of Virgil, I believe. I got rid of Garnacho because I picked him thinking that he was going to be a bona fide starter and he didn't. So I wasn't that mad about. And then I got rid of some other forward that I was never going to play. But yeah, I did it. I don't
Justin's
really care.
manhandling all of us right now.
I
It's
can't not care about it, dude. I hate the scoring in it. Like I kind of didn't think about it, and I just let it be what it is because it's the. But like, unless your player scores a goal or keeps a clean sheet, scores a goal, has an assist, or keeps a clean sheet, there you get 2 points guaranteed. That's stupid, but whatever. What else happened this weekend? So we can move on to Brentford and Southampton. Breaking news: Southampton are indeed shit. I didn't. I watched the highlights of this game. It was unremarkable. Aaron Ramsdale is the new goalkeeper for Southampton, so that's
did he start?
something. He did start. He
Oh,
had an own goal. Goalie with an own
he
goal.
was terrible.
He was not
5.6
very
on
good.
FOP mob rating. That's not
Yeah,
great.
he didn't have an
Um,
own goal, but I think they still gave it to him Bueno. But it was essentially an own goal, is what it was. It was not good.
I think overall, like we talked about when we were kind of predicting our seasons in general, I think that Brentford once again, the attacking is going to be what keeps them up. I mean, they're able to score so freely with the way that they play, and their players seem to like fit that counter-attacking style. And they have a nose for goal. You have Wisa and you have Embuemo, so it's just like
I just feel
I
like
feel like that team is just always going
yeah.
to there'll always be 2 goals or it'll be a goal against a good team and there'll
What's
always be
gonna
a thorn in
happen if one
someone's
of
side.
them get hurt? One of those, because I feel like those are the only 2 players who ever do anything for that club. The only 2.
Yep. Yep.
I
Yeah,
I'd
you're not
I'd be
wrong.
willing to bet that this season those are the only 2 people who have scored for them at all. Because they definitely were this weekend.
I can tell you that.
They did
That's
not
a pretty
score
easy look.
against Liverpool, and they are the only. They had the 2-1 win against Palace. It was Embueno and it was
Yes.
Wisa. So
Yes,
yes,
those are
we
their
are
only 2.
3 full games into this Premier League season, and the only players to score for Brentford are Wisa and Embueno. They did
It's
have a goal
actually
from Lewis
worse than
Potter.
that because they have if you look at uh, goals and assists, you have Wisa and Embuemo both at 3 apiece. I think this is XG plus expected assist too, from what I'm looking at. And then the only other person to have done anything for them was Matthias Jensen, and that's literally a central midfielder is the only other player to do it. Any sort of scoring or assisting for them.
I mean, they haven't had the best of opponents so far. I mean, they played Liverpool, but they didn't do anything against Liverpool, so they have played a good team. But it, how do you not know that if you just stop Bueno and Wisa, they can't do anything because nobody else is competent with the ball on their feet? I don't know. It's funny to me because he's not there anymore, and he's not even in the Premier League anymore because he got sold. But Neil Maupay rubbed me the wrong way last year hard, and he was on loan to Brentford, and so now I just associate Brentford with Neil Maupay, even though
Yeah,
he's not even on the
have
team
you
anymore.
seen
He's
some
not
of the
even in the
stuff
Premier
that
League.
he's been like he's talked a lot of shit since he left too.
He's
Like
such a fucking
the
bitch,
dude's
dude. He's
just kind of
such a
an
bitch.
ass. Um,
Goodness
yeah,
me. If I could drag him by his toes through a bed of nails and hang him in a tree by his toenails, leave him there for a couple days, I'd think about it.
classic toenail hanging.
Toenail hanging.
Yeah,
Just to
I
be
just
clear,
feel
I do
like
not want to kill Neil Mape.
yes,
I
that
don't
was
even
a
know the
joke.
guy.
We do
It was
not
a joke.
sanction murder on For the Shirt here.
No.
Um, yeah, I think Southampton is exactly what we thought they were going to be. It's just it looks rough for them.
Yeah.
It looks a level above what they were able to handle, which kind of sucks, honestly. I feel like they have a decent setup, and I feel like their fans have showed up for them from at least what I've seen. Like they seem like they are excited for the opportunity to be back up, but it's just it seems like it's going to be a quick send right back down.
I don't see how it's not. I don't like. It feels rude to say this word, but unremarkable is the only thing that comes to mind. Like I can't tell you anything that I've seen of them do that I am like, oh, this has potential. They're not ready yet. I think they're going to go back down. I do think they have a good shot of coming back up, and get this injection of Premier League money for a year, go back down, get some more, and maybe they can make something of
I'd
it.
see him
But
again. I
they
don't know.
are
That's
one of only two teams.
If
If
Wrexham
Wrexham ain't
doesn't
gonna do
somehow climb
shit,
up
let's
and
be
beat,
real.
dude. I don't know. They're running League One now too. I mean, they're one of the
Are they
top teams in
really?
League One now too. Yes, I
I
mean
mean,
that's why
how
I'm like,
many? What are they? 4 games in now?
no, they're actually. I think they're, yeah, they're 4 games in, but
Yeah,
they're top of
because
the table. They're tied. They're 1 point behind in goal difference to Stockport County, but they're pretty solidly. I mean, they've won all but one game. They drew one single match so far against Bolton Wanderers.
I would be shocked. Truthfully, it's like I don't even know that would be a run for the ages because they've already been double promoted, or this would be the double promotion because I think they had to spend an extra year in League Two,
No,
or in
I
whatever
think
the
they spent they went from National League the first year of the takeover, and then they won the National League. Then they went to
no, they
League
lost their
Two, and
first
they
year
lost in
already.
the playoff finals. No, I'm pretty sure that they
No,
moved
they
up the
got
first.
promoted straight out of League Two for sure. Because the only season of
Mm.
Welcome to Wrexham that I watched is the first season where they did not make it up the first year. I mean, that'd be a Luton-esque run. That'd be pretty sick. But
Let's see.
I
Look at their
can't
seasons right
see
now.
it.
This is super off track, but I am just now. I want to see
We
if I'm
don't
right
have
or
a
not.
track. There's some games that we don't need to talk about.
Yeah, they were in the National League from 2015 until 2022, 2023. They won 20 in 2023, and then they got second the year before. So yeah, it was they got second that first season that they had Welcome to Wrexham, and then they came back and won the National League, and then they went to League Two and they got second and won the playoff, and now they're in League One and they're like top of the table already. So I mean that would be back to back to back promotions. It'd be 3 promotions in a row.
That'd be kind of crazy. I didn't think they stood much of a chance in League One. I thought they. I mean, I didn't think they were going to get relegated to League One because I don't know. jack fuck about League One. But I thought, double promotion team kind of risky, but yeah,
Yeah.
don't ever
Speaking of
doubt Ryan
speaking
Reynolds.
of promotion teams, we can move on to Ipswich too next.
Sure.
Um,
This game was it was a very entertaining game to watch. This is the one that I was watching. Uh, Ipswich came out strike first in the 15th minute with it was a pretty nice goal from Liam Delap. It was just outside the box. The goalie got a hand on it, but it wasn't able to stop it. He got weak hands, so it went straight through his hands into the top cheddar. That royally pissed off Amada Traore. If there's one person you don't want to piss off, it's him. So he came back and scored an equalizer of his own in the 32nd minute. After that, it was a whole lot of nothing, to be honest. They were trading blows, but I just think, like I said, it was really nothing much else to talk about, truthfully.
yeah.
Both teams came close.
What Cody was mentioning that this was the game that he watched. Just so everyone listening knows, we split up some of the games that we were more paying attention to during that. It was the 10 o'clock games on Saturday. Cody ended up watching most of the Ipswich and Fulham game. And I mostly was watching Villa in Leicester City. I switched on to Nottingham Forest near the end when Villa was up 2-0, and actually ended up. I think I switched over and just missed Buenanote's goal for Leicester. But yeah, the Ipswich from that whole game, I think it's a good result for them, for their team. They need to draw against the teams that they can draw against, and hopefully win against the teams that they should. This was probably a game that they should have won, could have won. It was more matching for them. And I mean, the stats, if you look at it, kind of reflect that it was basically 50-50 possession. Same amount of shots on target, almost same amount of big chances. So, I mean, the whole game was theirs for the taking, and neither team really seized the opportunity. Uh, and I think that might be just the story of their season, is the games that they need to seize the opportunity and win to keep
Yeah.
themselves up. It might just be, a little bit above their level to get that one goal that they needed.
They had chances. Um, I can't remember exactly when off the top of my head, but I know they had chances. Fulham is playing in Craven Cottage is always a thorn in the side. I don't think I can
Mm-hmm.
name a single team. I mean, obviously there are teams that win there because Fulham are not great, but you never know what's going to happen at Craven Cottage. So I think Ipswich getting a point out of this is very important to them. This is to get their feet wet, the first point of the Premier League
Well,
in the Premier League for
this
like 22 fucking years. So props to them.
that game was at Ipswich, though. That's the only thing. But it is, that's why
I'll
I'm
just
like,
edit that
it's
out.
at
It's all good.
home.
Joking. That's embarrassing. I really thought it was at
But
Craven
yeah,
Cottage. They had like black shit. Like it looked like Craven Cottage, but whatever.
no, it says
Should have
Portsmouth
simply
Road
checked
at
the
least, but
extension.
I'm pretty sure it was at Ipswich. Um, but yeah, I think that, you look at all of the, we'll move on to Leicester next, because I was watching the Leicester game. And it's a different story with Leicester, because they were playing a much better opponent in Villa. They were probably always expected to lose the game, but they controlled a lot of that game. There was many points in that game where it seemed like Leicester outplayed Aston Villa. I mean, the possession was almost 60% in favor of Leicester. The shots were, they had the same amount of shots, but the opportunities for Villa were much more clear. There were a lot better chances for them. Um, Onana is inevitable. He's. It seems like every single game, because of his size, his speed, and the type of player that he is, there's going to be an opportunity every single game for him to change the course of the game. And once again, they gave him an opportunity and the man buried it. And I think that, that's going to kind of be a common theme we might see this year is Onana might decide their season. If he scores in the game or if he's taking the opportunities that he gets, they will be looking good. But that comes with a huge caveat. And I know that it's one that you and I already talked about,
Yeah, I was
and that
just
is the
waiting to
fact
say
that
it.
Ollie Watkins cannot score a goal to save his life right now. And it is, for Villa, it has to be pretty concerning because this is the guy that you're building your entire team around now at this point. And
Second most goals in the Premier
it's
League last season.
and had a great summer. I mean, he was looking
Yeah.
great in the
Yeah,
Euros.
he's
Everyone thought that he
looked
was about
amazing.
to come back and just explode, and it's been a lackluster start of the season for the lad. So,
He'll
yeah, I
come back
think
though. We're
overall
only
that
3
game
games
was
in.
just I think that the season will end up coming down for Leicester City to their ability to score goals and create chances. And I know that's basically a common theme for most teams. That's how they're going to lose. But Leicester relying on Jamie Vardy at 74 years old to continue to be their best player is just, it's not going to work. I mean, it's just not
Why is
there.
it working then, Jacob? Why is it working? I don't understand it, and it's annoying, and I hate it. But gotta respect the man, because fuck, dude, you got to be 112 years old, running around out there with 16-year-olds, looking like a freaking goddamn superstar, bro. Fuck.
Yeah, it is it's a head
It's like,
scratcher because there's some
man,
games where the guy looks great, but it seems like the opportunities that he gets are few and far between. And for that team, that's the last thing that they need to see. I mean, it is like they need to hope that this guy gets 6 opportunities a game. Like that is their best chance to win.
keep feeding them
And
Red Bulls. Did you hear about that? Did you hear what
it's
his game day thing is? He wakes up,
no.
he drinks a Red Bull, he comes into the fucking training facility, drinks a Red Bull, and right before game time he drinks another Red Bull. And I'm like, dude, you're gonna have a heart attack. Like you are 87 years old. Like
Jeez,
relax with the
dude.
Red Bull. Like, but that's how he does it.
I
It
just
gives you
get
wings. Proof right there. Jamie Vardy's proof that Red Bull
that Red Bull
gives
gives
you
you
wings.
wings. They should honestly should give him a
Dude,
whole sponsorship. It'd be
get him
great
a
for
little
him.
cartoon in the commercials. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
if you had
funny.
anything else to say on that, I didn't
No,
know if you
I
had any
truthfully
more
I
on Villa.
did not pay attention to that game. All I know is I started Ollie Watkins, and he again for the third straight week blanked. So I said, "Fuck you! I'm getting Erling Haaland."
Yeah,
So
if you get an opportunity, you should see Buenanote's goal. It was a pretty crazy shot. It was
describe it to
absolutely
me in
meaningless.
detail.
Basically, he gets the ball.
Wait. Let me close my eyes. Ready? Go ahead.
All right, here you go. Here we go. He gets the ball about maybe 5 yards outside of the circle, top of the box, and
Oh
like he
yeah.
turns, starts dribbling a little bit to the right, and then just releases a shot, and it just flies right into the top corner. It was
Mm.
great shot, a great
You
goal
got to
for
make the crowd
them, but
noise.
it was also
Yeah,
that
that
just sounds like me breathing, but it's also
it
kind
did kind of sound like
of.
cool.
But
Oh,
yeah, it
nice.
was a
Thanks for
pretty
that.
crazy goal. I think it was a nice nice way to at least make it look a little bit better for them. But uh, losing basically 2-0, I'm not even going to count the goal as great as it was for them.
Yeah.
The losing that game the way that they did with the possession and seeming like they had a lot of control in the game just comes down to the chances that they created, and there just wasn't enough. That's really what
Yeah.
it was. Um,
It's something you
and
expect.
from
I mean,
there,
you
I
expect Villa finished top four last season. Like I expect them to come out and beat Leicester. Something that Spurs couldn't do, but that's beside the point. And they came out and Villa got the win. And again, it's you got to beat the teams that you're expected to beat, and that's how you have any sort of chance of keeping up with City and winning the league. So,
yeah.
congrats to
Uh,
Villa.
The last game that I watched on Saturday, was able to catch the end of it as soon as I turned it off after I missed Buenanote's goal that I then ended up watching back. But I watched Forest and Wolves, which turning it on late wasn't much action, but rewatching it and seeing kind of what was going on, I mean, it was frantic in the first like 10, 15 minutes of the game. Action both ways, shots, looks like it was going to be like 20 to nothing. It was crazy, but they ended up, the first goal was by Wood off of a corner, completely unmarked. The goalie probably could have saved it. It seemed like I forget the player that was in front of him. One of the attacking players. It wasn't Hudson Odoi, but there's a different attacking player that was up by the goalie, and he kind of distracted the goalie's eye, and I think the goalie maybe thought it was going to go off his head and straight at him, and instead he didn't reach, and the ball just continued to go to the corner. So it was kind of a weak header by Wood, but they ended up getting it. And then like right away, Wolves go the other side. I think it was 2 minutes later. Bellegarde scores like outside the box, absolutely insane. It was 2 minutes after Forrest's goal, and then the rest of the match was just wide open. Both sides, it seemed like they were running back and forth. There were shots like you watch a game like the one that we just watched with United and Liverpool that we'll touch upon in a little bit. Like it seems like a lot of that stuff was like your shots. Even Tottenham this morning, there's so much traffic in the box, it seems like those shots just aren't clear. Like this game was the opposite. There's just lanes to shoot, and they're begging the dudes to score wonder goals. And you know, both sides' defenses seemed to play good. The goalies played well enough to keep them out. Uh, by the middle of the second half, Forest was looking dangerous pretty much every single time that they had the ball. The 83rd minute, Wood scored. Like the ball ended up getting like knocked around a little bit in like the far corner, and then they crossed it in, and he like scissor kicked it almost like to the
Yeah, I saw
side,
that.
goes in, looks like the game winner, and then he was offsides, literally like by like some guy had his shoe, and the shoe was like there, and he was like right there, like it was inches away from being on to actually have the goal count. But it just wasn't meant to be. And then from there, that was kind of, I saw Woods almost goal, and then the rest of the game was mostly just them both trying not to lose. So it was kind of a little bit of a snooze
Honestly,
fest by the end of it.
yeah, I feel like those types of games can be pretty interesting. I think it's always the games. It's like evenly matched opponents, like Forest and Wolves. I would say Wolves are better, but I don't think Forest is the worst team. Like I feel like every time I watch them, I always find something a little exciting about how they're playing. Um, they just they're pesky little spit fucks. So I don't know. I expected Wolves to win this game. Um, they drew, right? Correct? Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, I
it
thought
was
so.
1-1.
Yeah, I thought so. So that's a surprising result from Wolves, but Wolves are the type of team that play to their opponent's level. Um, like clockwork, it's so impressive how they can hang with the likes of, Spurs or Liverpool, or they could play like absolute dumpster fires like against Forest. So it's always an entertaining game when Wolves are involved, I find. So it's always can't miss action. But
Yeah.
let's talk
Uh,
about the fun, the best game on Saturday. I'm laughing because true comedy of errors. I can't say that I've seen anything like this type of meltdown. But Everton suck. Everton
yeah,
suck.
it. I I saw that it was 2-0. I've tried so hard not to just crack up, but I saw I saw it was 2-0, and I was like, "Oh wow!" And I don't know if you remember the text that I sent you before that game
Yeah.
started. I said, "If Everton draw to Bournemouth, I will be convinced that they're going down this year." draw. Okay. I see they're up 2-0. I'm like, well, couldn't have been more wrong about that. First goal goes in 2-1. Oop. Well, that looks a little
It's
interesting.
the
Maybe we
87th
should
minute.
see
Who
what happens.
cares? Yeah.
And I was like, it's just a garbage goal, whatever, just to make it look a little bit better. Right away, another goal gets scored. And I'm like, oh, there's a chance here. And then you turn on the game because I wanted to see what was going to happen at the end. And by the time I turned it on, it looked like it was a Pee-wee team against a professional Premier League team. They
At
looked
home.
they looked like they couldn't stop shit. Like
Oh,
it was embarrassing. I it's sad. I was listening to Anfield Agenda on my way home. Shout out to Craig on Anfield Agenda. I try to listen as much as I can. And I was listening to his post match reaction, and someone asked him about Everton and how he felt about it. And it's like it's sad for Liverpool fans because you know we as Ohio State fans know what it feels like to dominate a rivalry. Like we the last three
wait, wait,
years
wait,
have been
wait,
such
wait,
a
wait, wait, wait,
microcosm.
wait, 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 wait. Pause,
The
pause,
last
pause, pause,
three
pause.
years have been such a microcosm of what the real story is at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, we had dominated them for most of our lives. And you look at the same thing with Everton, it hasn't been really a rivalry. They might have given us a few tough games, but you don't want to see your rival in the gutter that bad. I
Did you
don't
just say
want to.
it's sad for Liverpool fans? Imagine being an
Yes.
Everton fan. They were literally
Well,
bawling
that's what
their
I was
eyes
like,
out in
because we
any
don't want to.
stadium.
We don't want.
You go,
I just don't
hate
want to
them.
see him go down like
You
this.
picked them to go
Last year.
down, you twat.
But
What
I
do
don't.
you
This is
mean?
the thing. Because at the end of the day,
Oh, man, you're
as a
funny.
fan, you want to see your rival there. I picked them to go down simply because I know they're going to. I mean, it couldn't have been more poetic that this is the last year in Goodison Park. Like, quite literally, couldn't have been more poetic that the last year that they're there is going to be the year that they go down. And, more than likely, they have the talent, they have the money, they have the history. They'll probably be right back. Let's be honest. If Everton goes down, they're probably coming right back. But if they go down, how many of those players are going to stay through that? Is Jared Branthwaite really going to want to stay there, or maybe
No
he wants to
chance.
just go
He wanted to leave
across
this
a little
offseason.
bridge, right across a little bridge, and pull up to Anfield? We'll have a locker all ready for him, and then we can introduce him as our new center back because that's what everyone wanted, anyways. But they're going to lose a ton of players, so
Everton
I would like to
is not
think
selling to you guys. There's no chance.
they might not have a choice, Cody, because he wants to come here. That's at least the rumors. It's the
There's
rumors.
yeah,
Branthwaite may want to be, maybe
you
want to
should
be
see the For the
red.
Shirt Twitter, everybody. It is, I followed every single team, and then I tried to follow, some big reporters, Fabrizio. I know the Tottenham, like I followed like two Tottenham reporters. Jacob followed every single fucking Liverpool account that he possibly could. So that's
They got good
90% of
news.
our
They got good
timelines.
news there.
Yeah, so of course you're seeing that he wants to come there. I saw that he wanted to come to Spurs. We don't need him. I didn't think he's actually going to come to us.
Yeah, it
Respect,
is.
respect the hustle.
I think overall that was just it was a age old meltdown. It is one of those
Mm-hmm.
you'll be talking about that for a while
Oh yeah,
because it
that's
was
gonna
that
live in
bad.
infamy.
It was literally 3 goals in a span of 7 minutes, and everyone thought it
At
was
home,
over, and it wasn't
um,
at home. At home.
to-
Yeah.
Toffee
So rest
fans,
in
we
peace.
are with you. Um, that sucks. I want to wish that upon my worst enemy. I would cry.
We're with you, but we're
And
also kind of laughing. I'm not going to lie to
oh,
you because it
100%. We're
is
not laughing
at
at
least a
you.
tad funny.
We are laughing at the club and subsequently you. So
Yes. All
I
right.
can say this because I watched Newcastle score 4 goals on Spurs 2 years ago within the span of like fucking 15 minutes. So it was so bad we
Well,
had the goalkeeper out.
I'm glad that you bridged that because we're gonna switch over to
Yeah.
This
Spurs versus
morning,
Oil
though,
Money
Saturday
United.
or Sunday morning here.
What can I
It
say?
was
So
it was a game. That was
I is a classic Spurs masterpiece. Okay, so here's what's going on at Spurs right now. We dominate possession. We dominate the ball. We dominate the shots. We dominate in damn near every statistical category, but we do not have somebody who can put the ball in the net. I don't know why we can't do it, but we can't. It's partially because of a low block. Everybody and their mom plays a low block. Newcastle United, so supposed top team in the Prem, decided they were going to play a low block on us this morning. Ridiculous. Play like a fucking grown man. I get the small teams, and I unfortunately understand that that is the best way to beat us, because everybody knows that if you didn't do that, we could compete with everybody. We just don't have. We need somebody who can unlock it. Odebert, he tries. We started him up top for some reason today. I don't necessarily know why we did that, but he looked fine up there. Sonny looked good on the wing, which was good because he looked like shit against Leicester. So I wasn't too upset about today's performance. It wasn't exactly a game that I went in expecting to win, especially without Van de Ven. Giving up only 2 goals, and this is a very sad thing to say, but giving up only 2 goals to a team like Newcastle United, I was pretty pleased with the way we play. Like, and that's just what, if you don't understand, that's how we play. Like, we give you goals essentially in the hopes that we can score more. And we had 20 shots, 6 shots on target, and only 1 goal, and that's just simply unacceptable. I think. I hope that Slanky's going to be the answer. First game, he wasn't, but also first game with a new club against a newly promoted team who was out for fucking blood, playing a low block. So I think he just has to work it in there and just hope and pray. But I think a BJ, on the bright side, BJ looked not great. I swear to God, that motherfucker just closes his eyes when he gets to the end of the box, on the side of the box, closes his eyes and crosses the ball in, because he doesn't ever fucking cross it to anybody. And
And
I
sometimes
partially
he's
blame
brilliant.
him. Dude,
Sometimes those passes are right on.
sometimes he reminds me so much of a slightly less talented Darwin Nunez, except Darwin plays up front. There are times where I'm like, holy shit, dude, you might be the future of this franchise. But then 90% of the time, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, he can beat a man, he can get around a low block, he just can't cross for shit. He can't cross for shit. And his finishing ability is in the negatives. But I
Well,
just,
at a positive point, Cody, at a positive point, even now, you're ahead of Chelsea on goal difference. United's in 14th. So just remember, you could be a United fan. You could be an Everton fan.
that's true.
Um, it's 4 points out of 3 games is not ideal, but it's also you
It's
know
not a
a
death
lo-
sentence. I mean, we're
it's
never
not a
going to
death
win the league
sentence.
this
That was kind
season.
of where I
A
was
goal is
going.
top 4. We're not. Nobody's. City's winning the league. Like, there's no question, unless they get multiple major significant injuries. There's no chance that they don't. But it's just frustrating, man. It's like I watch
You
the
guys
same
got
shit
some.
every fucking week. Same shit every time. Last week, we looked good, but it's Everton, and two of the goals, basically, we were essentially gifted on a silver platter. So I just we spent I think we spent the second most out of any other team in the Premier League, behind Chelsea and then Chelsea's backup teams. And we bought we bought 2, but I mean, we bought 2 bona fide starters, but we spent the second most out of anybody else in the league. Like, I love the team that we have. We are a team built for the future. We're not a team built to win right now. Like, we have 16 and 17 and 18. Like, our team, we have to be one of the youngest teams in the Prem. in the Prem. So
Yeah,
I'm
and
trying to
it's
not have high expectations this year. But
you guys got a tough road coming up too in the league. You got Arsenal next, and Brentford is gonna kind of be a
we
an
better
interesting game,
absolutely murder Brentford.
and then you have United. So I mean, it is gonna be it'll be a few couple of games that will be really kind of key to your season. I think on how things will go.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean that's. I think that it's not all hope lost for Tottenham. I think they a lot of the stuff that I saw today, a lot of the response after they went down, I felt like was pretty solid for them. Yeah,
I mean,
it
we
seemed
looked
like
great. We
they.
just couldn't finish. We can't finish. I don't think our defense looked bad. I think our best form of defense today was keeping the fucking ball. I mean, possession, I think, ended up being like 70-30 or something like that, maybe a little bit less, but it felt like the whole second half we had the ball. I think there was a point where we had the ball for like 10 minutes straight. It felt like it was fucking nuts, but it is what it is. You can't win them all. Newcastle at St. James's Park is not one that I'm gonna, you know, call for the head of Ange on. So it is what it is. Let's talk about Liverpool.
Yeah, I. When do you think? When do you think we should start the renaming process of Old Trafford? Because I think. I think King Mo Salah Arena sounds pretty great.
King
That
Mo
man's just
Salah Arena.
he is inevitable in that
I mean,
stadium.
I
I mean,
I agree.
the dude's. I think they said today it was his seventh goal
Mm-hmm.
at Old Trafford or ninth, something like that. I mean, he
I think it
always
was
scores
seventh.
there. I mean, a lot of the people. It was funny because I was passing you on the highway, and about that time they were talking. Someone asked like, "When do you think Mo scores today?" Because it wasn't a will Mo score today. It was what time will Mo actually score today? And I I said 63rd, and it ended up being I think the 55th or 55th, 56th, something like that. Um, but yeah, I mean they looked. If we play like this, we can beat anyone.
Yeah.
I truly believe that, and I don't just mean EPL. I'm talking about like internationally. I think the way that Slot is playing right now, he's getting the most out of the players. I mean that's what we heard all through the last few months leading into the season was how excited the players were to have him, that the system seems to fit them so well. One of the main players that said that we haven't even seen him play yet in the system, and that was Curtis Jones. But
Curtis
it's
Jones hasn't
just
played yet.
no, he's been hurt. He picked up a knock right before the first game, I believe in
Wow,
training.
that's
And
crazy. Curtis Jones is
he
really
hasn't even made a
fucking good.
single
So
match day lineup. So I'm guessing we'll probably see him by the middle of this month, probably after the break. He'll be back, but it just seems Luis has constantly been a scapegoat in my mind. Maybe it's just me that does it. Maybe it's other fans too, but it his style of play, yes, he may hold the ball too long. Yeah, I'm sure he flops a little bit. And maybe he really does want to be on Barcelona one day. But all I can tell you is that that dude can fucking score goals. And he has a nose for the goal. He is coming into his own, I think, finally into that Roberto Firmino type category of
I
just
honestly was thinking the same thing earlier while watching
you
him.
can't explain it. He's just special. I mean, and I mean that in a nice way because sometimes he also does make some special decisions that you can say as well on the field. But you know, he is overall a a player that we want, and I think that's why everyone's questioning Gakpo not getting in as much. Why haven't we seen Gakpo start on that left? And I think it's because Diaz has really said, "This is my position. This is my shirt. You're gonna have to take it from me." And I love it, man. I love what I'm seeing from him. Um, Overall,
on the game, I you might have a different view on this than me. I don't feel like United played bad. Like it didn't really seem like United played terrible.
They definitely
They,
did not.
I
They
will
didn't look
say
great.
Onana played terrible. There was a couple of very
Casemiro,
questionable.
I regret every good thing
Casemiro's
that I
bad.
said about
Yes,
every good thing
yes.
that I said about Casemiro last week.
Um,
He
I
looked
think the rest of the team,
lost.
though, I mean, it seemed like Robertson outclassed Garnacho the entire game. From what I saw, at least, he wasn't able to get around him. Trent was exactly where he needed to be, and I think
I
that's like
watched
the
that clip.
biggest.
I watched that clip of Trent's goal that they disallowed.
Yeah,
Where did Mo touch the ball?
he did touch it.
Did
I
it
mean, it tipped off
like
of I think
where?
either his heel or
Like off
his
the
the side of his
ricochet?
foot. It was yeah on the like the pass in. It hit off
Okay.
of his foot and then guided right to Trent's leg, but he didn't need to touch it, and that's why I was pissed about. Is it was Mo trying to do too much? He had no angle. There's no way he was going to be able to back heel that into the goal. There was just no way, no reason for him to touch it. Keep the ball alive, let it go through, and see if someone's there. If it flies out of bounds, it flies out of bounds. But you're not going to get enough of a. It's the way that he was going to hit it was always going to be away from the goal. So it was very frustrating because I mean that would have been huge. Score 6 minutes in, get Trent his goal so that he stops maybe being a little bit of a diva because I don't like talking crap about the man, but he was scaring me a little bit last week. We didn't really get a chance to talk about some of the way that he was acting after the game, but he seemed very upset when Slot took him off last week, and this week it seemed he understood. I think that they might have had a conversation just about like I think what Arne's trying to do most of all is keep the guys healthy because we don't have a lot of squad depth. We didn't bring in a lot of people, so he's got to play with the guys that we have, and that's the only way we're going to
I
win is if
feel
we play with the
like
guys that we
in
have.
this may be incorrect, but I'm almost positive it's not. I feel like even though you guys brought in two people and one of them isn't going to get here until next year or January next year, I can't remember. But you guys loaned it back. But you brought in Jesse, but like you guys literally have the exact same players from last year. But I feel like you guys almost look a lot more dangerous. Like you're playing a lot better than you were last year. Because there were some times last year I was like, "Ooh, I'm a little worried." Because Mo just wasn't. I mean, Mo's Mo. He's great. No matter even on a bad day, he's one of the best players in the Premier League. But like he's playing like the second best player behind Erling Haaland because nobody can touch him right now. But he looks like he's a lot happier to be there under Arne. Um,
Did
Trent
you see
is
those
Trent.
quotes
Go
after
ahead.
the game by him too?
Mo
By Mo
or
Salah
Arne?
after the game?
No,
By
truthfully, the
by
game
Mo.
ended and I took a little nap.
It was a little concerning. His one of
By
them he
Mo?
said, "As you know, it's my last year at the club. I want to enjoy it." And then
Oh,
he said on Old Trafford, "It could be my last time. No one has come to me in the club about a contract. It's my last game here with Liverpool."
what the fuck?
So,
For starters, one, why? What does FSG do? I'm not even gonna bother asking that because who knows?
yeah,
It's
don't even
almost
get me started because
it's almost
you
baseball
have
postseason, so they're worried about that. Okay, the Red
you
Sox
have
are
Salah,
in a playoff push.
you have Trent, and you have Virgil, all without contracts still. I I want to believe the plan was we focus super hard on the transfer deadline. You try to bring in new people, and then we'll hash everything out. But to not have a conversation with your team captain, your homegrown, probably best player on our squad, defender on our squad, and then our legendary winger, to not even have a conversation of
Arguably,
what are we going to do or what is this is what our plan is on how we're going to handle it is brain dead. I mean, it makes no sense. And all they're doing is causing now a rift between the players, and that's the last thing that we need. Because I think that was really why Trent acted the way he did last week. With that, was he's pissed. I mean, he has every right to be pissed. He's given everything for his club. He's been the biggest supporter. He's been there throughout, and they just aren't even going to entertain doing anything about it right now. It's very frustrating.
I mean, I don't think Liverpool is historically the type to really pay players. Just like the Red Sox don't pay players. Just like any
Yes,
FSG's just got their money everywhere and they can't focus it all in one spot. So I hate to see it, and I hope the best, because I would suck to see a Premier League without Mo Salah or Trent. So
yeah,
they look like they're having fun though on the field, which is all like, I mean, Mo does at the least. I don't. Trent looks like Trent. Trent's just a goofy looking dude. So, but I enjoy seeing
yeah.
them. But I don't really fucking care to talk about Chelsea. Truthfully,
I know.
Chelsea
Actually, I
drew.
don't even want to talk about the game, but let's talk about what Enzo Maresca said
Oh, what?
that
I mean,
last
I
week, because
can't.
we missed the ability to
I
talk about
forgot
it,
about that. Yeah,
and we're
yeah.
not even going to entertain the game. They drew. They're at their level. Crystal Palace is about at how good their squad is, anyways. So, um,
As
I
is a
think.
monster. That goal is disgusting.
But oh wait, we have to say, is Crystal Palace at their A squad, or is it their B squad? Because you don't really know. Because
The A
if
squad
anyone missed
started
it,
today.
Enzo Maresca basically said something along the lines of, uh, you know, I don't have 40 whatever players like everyone's saying. Uh, I have I have 22, and everyone else goes and practices away from us. I only work with the first team, and it's just a disgusting strategy. I
He
think that
said,
it's
"quote unquote."
outlandish.
The other 15 to 20 players are training apart. I don't see them. It's not a mess like it looks on the outside. Absolutely not. If you have to specify that it's not a mess like it may look
Probably a
on the
mess.
outside, it's a damn mess. I mean, if you were saying that you don't see quite literally half of your squad, who would want? The worst part is, Jacob, is that was last week before the transfer deadline happened, and then they signed like 4 players at the transfer deadline. Who would want to go there, and why? They have an inflated squad of players who could be very good. They're a bunch of young players, but they're good. They're decent players. And you have a coach who openly admitted to not seeing half of the players. Like, I don't understand how or why players want to go there. Can you explain that to me?
Are you ready for this? Their net
Yes.
spend over the last 5 years is now at negative £832 million. That is insane. They're
There
spending
was
all this money, bringing in what 40 something players to strengthen a squad that already, I mean, they're on paper good, but they're not good. I mean, that's what I'm just dumbfounded about. You were spending all this money on players, but you can't even like find players that actually are doing what you need to do. They It seems like they struggle to even put a squad together that's going to go out there and give effort.
I just
If
it's a recipe that I'm loving watching play out. I'm scared because they have the players to be fucking a great team. But I just, until I see it, I'm not going to believe it. I don't get it. I don't understand. We can't get anybody to want to come play for Spurs, and then but everybody wants to go play for like Raheem. I mean, Raheem Sterling just left Chelsea technically, but um, I don't get it. I don't get it. I've been laughing because that speaking of Raheem Sterling got loaned out to Arsenal for the remainder of the year because Chelsea have 42 players and Maresca only sees 21 of them. Um, but everybody was just posting like, "I hate Spurs," and it's like the two sophisticated looking cartoon dudes. You know what I mean? Just looking at each other. It's like, "I hate Spurs," and the Arsenal guys like, "No, I hate Spurs more." Then they're just making out because that's how it fucking works, dude. Neither of them ever deal with us, but they be dealing with each other all the time. And
They just be getting mad.
I don't get it. What the hell did we do? I mean, historically, historically, we're by far and wide better than Arsenal, but Chelsea's been, until the past couple of years, been the Man City of the Premier League. So I don't really get it, but I like to laugh at their pain. So ha ha ha, suckers.
Brings me joy as well. All right, well,
That'll probably do it.
I think that basically wraps up the week for us.
Yeah,
You know,
we got to decide what we're going to do about
forward-
next week. Being that there's an international break, if we want to just come on here and just talk shit for fun.
Yeah, we might just come and run our mouths a little bit on some of the stuff that we feel,
but we missed you guys.
And we apologize for this one being, over an hour. We were, trying to fit in everything. We missed a lot. We had a lot to talk about, and it was an exciting week. So
yeah, we tried really fucking hard. We tried until I was stuck at dinner for like 3.5 hours last weekend. That's the only reason why we couldn't, because we were already pushing it to like 9:30, and I was at fucking Benihana of all places from 7 to like 10:30, dude. This is the end of season 1, episode 3 of the For the Shirt podcast. Thanks for coming, guys. Cheers.